Okay, welcome everybody to the Student Organization Training Session Series hosted by the Department of Campus Involvement. This is the first of 4 sessions that we will be hosting over the next 4 weeks. The topic today is officer transitions. So we will go ahead and get started. So there are 2 sides of the transition: outgoing officers, so those who have been holding these positions and running the organization for the past academic term, as well as the incoming officers, those who will be taking over and running for the next academic term. So some of the responsibilities of the outgoing officers. On Huskies Connect, you'll want to make sure that you're making roster changes in order to reflect the incoming officers taking over those positions. So I'll go ahead and show you how that will happen on our Huskies Connect page. So I'm at the home page right now. I'm going to want to sign in so that I can have managerial access to my organizations. When you get to this page right here, once you sign in, you'll see your organizations that you have in membership in, and you'll want to click the one that you have the leadership role in. So I'll go ahead and click Department of Campus Involvement. And then you'll want to click Manage Organization over here. Load. Once you do get into the management side, you will see, on ours, you'll see a lot more options since we are the administrative branch. There we go. But as for regular student organizations, you will just see the organization tools down here. So in order to make sure that you get the roster updated, of course, we'll want to hit roster right here. And then once you see your current active roster right here, you'll want to make sure to go and I'll go ahead and click myself right here. So I'm Nathan Duncan. I want to update this person's positions. So going from, I'm going to click and put myself as the new incoming treasurer. And take off vice president. So you'll go ahead and go to the manage positions, click the little pencil over here, and it'll pull up all of the different options of positions that are available for the student to hold. So I am graduate assistant. I took off vice president because that didn't need to be there, and I am going to be hypothetically the incoming treasurer. So in order to make sure that happens, I'll hit save. And then immediately it will be updated and it will show that I am treasurer. So now this user, which right now is me, will have access as much as the treasurer is granted access to that organization. I'm going to go ahead and undo that real quick so I don't forget for later. All right. So that is how you update the roster, and we want to make sure that we are getting those incoming officers into those positions before you actually leave your organization, because you are the only ones that have that power, other than the student organization support staff, and we don't necessarily know who is needing to be in those positions. And as the outgoing officers, you will know who is going to be taking over your position. So on top of that, we also want to make sure that we are transferring all of our physical and digital materials, including documents, as well as the Drive services that you might be utilizing, such as Google Drive, the Microsoft SharePoint, as well as Microsoft Teams. Or sorry, not Microsoft, that's Office 365 SharePoint. Some of the documents that you want to make sure that you are including in the transfer will be the Constitution and bylaws for your organization, as well as any meeting minutes and agendas that you might have. So you want to make sure that you get those to the incoming officers. And then there is also a place on Huskies Connect that you can drop those documents. Again, on the, where those 3 little lines will bring up a little ribbon over here on the left side, and you'll want to click on Documents. If you don't have those documents in there, you'll want to make sure to add them by clicking Add a File. And it's pretty simple. You'll just drop a local file from your computer. So you want to make sure that the incoming officers will have access to all of those documents. You also want to make sure that you're transferring those privacy and sensitive information, including passwords and social media accounts, and then also student organization locker numbers and combinations. With the social media accounts, the Department of Campus Involvement no longer plays a role in holding on to any of that information. So that is all done on behalf of the organization and those student leaders. So you're going to want to make sure that you get those passwords and all of that account information to the incoming officers, since there's no way that we can help with that. There's no backup that we hold of that information with the Department of Campus Involvement. So that is going to be a responsibility that is put on the outgoing officers. Make sure that the student leaders that are coming in get those accounts. If you are affiliated with a national organization, you're going to want to make sure to explain the relationship and the processes of that organization to the new officers. And then also make sure to give those passwords to the new leaders for any national affiliated websites or resources that they might have or need. And then also make sure that those national contacts know who the new officers are and try to get them started off on the right foot. Additionally, for outgoing officers, we ask that you please don't complete the re-registration process for the coming year if you are not going to be holding a position of leadership in that organization. We really want to make sure that the officers that are going to be holding those positions are going to be the ones that are completing that registration process and getting that training so that they know how to navigate the processes of St. Cloud State student organizations. On the other side, for incoming officers, on Huskies Connect, you're going to want to make sure that you update your rosters, and I'll go ahead and show you how to do that. So once the outgoing officers give you access and put your position correctly, then you will have access to all of these different pages as well. You're going to want to make sure that you update your roster and end the membership of any students that might have graduated or are no longer a part of the organization. And you can do that by simply clicking on the little checkbox next to their name and then clicking End Membership. So that it's a very simple process and it's very quick. But once you have the leadership role in your organization, you will be able to manage the roster, manage the information, and everything else like that. We're also going to want to make sure that we update those social media buttons that pop up on a, I'll go back real quick just to show you what that looks like on the public side. So that's these buttons right here. You're going to want to make sure that the links are sending you to the correct location. So in order to do that, we'll want to click those three lines again in the Manage Organization tab, and then you'll want to go to About under Organization Tools. Once you're here in the About section, you can update the summary, the description of your organization, as well as any kind of communication like email, any external website that your organization might be using, or if you're nationally affiliated, maybe the national affiliation or the national organization website, as well as the social media links and the username for Twitter, as well as just any of those URLs. So just make sure that those are all working correctly once you have access. And then once you change those, you'll want to hit Update right here, just to make sure that everything is updated correctly. And then as we had mentioned before, the re-registration process and the course and the trainings, that will open up in the next couple of weeks on April 5th. We want to make sure that the incoming officers are the ones that are completing those trainings. So please make sure that you get that done for your organization, and that will be closing towards the beginning of the fall semester in early September. So for those accounts, make sure that you receive account information from the outgoing officers. They are going to be the ones that are going to hold that information until it is passed on to you. So make sure that you get that account information from those officers, and then that you also update those account passwords and backup emails. We don't want to run into any kind of issues down the road with outside people outside of the organization having access to those organizations' social media accounts. Not to say that there would be any kind of negativity or anything, but just to ensure security and privacy. And then completely up to you, but a good idea to market your organization would be to post about the new leadership. So posting about the new presidents and anybody else who's holding leadership roles in that organization. That'd be a good way to market out to students and any of your followers that you might have on social media. And since we do not have anybody in the live session right now, we'll go ahead and end it there. If you do have any questions, you can always reach out to us. But we do this, as we had mentioned at the beginning, this is the first of 4 in a training series that we are hosting from the Department of Campus Involvement. We have next week on Tuesday, March 30th, budget planning at 7 p.m. The week after, we have effective meetings, Wednesday, April 7th at 2:30. And then the following week after that, our final session will be recruitment and retention. And that is Thursday, April 15th at 5 p.m. You'll want to make sure if you want to attend the live session that you RSVP on Huskies Connect for those events at least 1 hour before the starting time. If you do have any questions along the way regarding student organizations, please don't hesitate to reach out to any of us at the Student Organization Support staff. That is myself, Nate Duncan, or Sammy or Beth. We are here to help out however we can, and we are always happy to receive an email from students that want to really get to figure out what's going on. So please don't ever hesitate to reach out to the Student Organization Support staff. Thank you so much for attending today, and we hope that you have a great rest of your day.